Hello students, chapter number 3, triangles, video number 3, total number of videos 16, congruence of triangles. Students, you have to learn this concept very carefully. Congruence of triangles is very important concept. So pay attention. Two segments are said to be congruent if they are of equal lengths. Okay, if a segment is placed upon another fits with it exactly, then the segments are congruent. If lengths are equal, segments are congruent. If one segment, now pay attention in the figure, segment AB and segment PQ are of equal lengths, so they are congruent. Now see here, if PQ, pick up PQ and keep it on AB, what will find? It will fit exactly, it will match exactly, it will coincide with AB exactly. If it is so, then the segments are said to be congruent. Here segment AB is congruent to segment PQ. We write it as segment AB congruent to segment PQ. Very introductory part is going on. Now, two circles of the same radii are said to be congruent to each other. When the two circles are congruent to each other, if their radii are equal. Next point, if measures of two angles are equal, then two angles are congruent. Is, pay attention here, in the figure, angle ABC and angle PQR are shown. Measure of each of the angle is 30 degree. It means measure of these two angles are equal. So these two angles are said to be congruent. So angle ABC congruent to angle PQR. Now, okay, we'll go to next point. Two figures, maybe the segment, maybe the circle, maybe the angle, maybe the triangle, is two figures are said to be congruent if they are kept one over the other matches exactly. Are you getting? Is, if two figures are said to be congruent if they are kept one over the other matches exactly. Simple definition of congruence of two figures. Now, for a given one-to-one correspondence between the vertices of two triangles, if corresponding three angles of both the triangles are congruent and corresponding three sides of both the triangles are congruent, then the two triangles are congruent. So listen here, for a given one-to-one correspondence between the vertices of two triangles, if corresponding three angles of both the triangles are congruent and corresponding three sides of both the triangles are congruent, then the two triangles are congruent. So what should happen? For the given one-to-one correspondence between the vertices of two triangles, corresponding three angles of one triangle should be congruent to corresponding three angles of the other triangle. Also, three sides of one triangle are congruent to corresponding three sides of the other triangle. Then the triangles are said to be congruent. Now see here, in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, for the correspondence, ABC corresponds to PQR. For this correspondence, if angle A is congruent to angle P, angle B is congruent to angle Q, angle C is congruent to angle R, and segment AB is congruent to segment PQ. Segment BC is congruent to segment QR. Segment AC is congruent to segment PR. Then triangle ABC and triangle PQR are congruent. We write it as triangle ABC congruent to triangle PQR. Okay. Now pay attention. If triangle LMN is congruent to triangle RST, then what? Then corresponding angles are congruent. Corresponding sides are congruent. So see here, triangles are congruent. So angle L is congruent to angle R. Angle M is congruent to angle S. Angle N is congruent to angle T. So here it is that. Corresponding sides are congruent. So segment LM is congruent to segment RS. Segment MN is congruent to segment ST. Segment LN is congruent to segment RT. Here it is next point. These are three corresponding angles and three corresponding sides. These are the 6 equations. Out of these 6 equations, are you getting? Out of these 6 equations, if 3 specific equations are true, then remaining 3 equations become true. Hence, 2 triangles become congruent. Okay, it is not necessary every time, all the time, that 3 corresponding angles and 3 corresponding sides of one triangle should be congruent to corresponding 3 angles and 3 sides of the other triangle. So out of the 6 equations, if specific 3 equations are true, then remaining 3 are obviously true, automatically true. And hence we have to consider the tests of congruence. Is very important. Tests of congruent, very important thing. Is first one, angle side angle test, short form ASA, angle side angle test. What is this test? Listen, in a correspondence between the vertices of two triangles, if two angles and the included side of one triangle is congruent to two angles and the included side of the other triangle, then two triangles are congruent. Are you getting? See here, in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, listen, if angle B is congruent to angle Q, okay, then angle C is congruent to angle R. These two angles are congruent. What is the included side? Side BC is included by these two angles. Side QR is included by these two angles. So if these two included sides are also congruent, then these two triangles are congruent. So here in the figure, in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, angle B is congruent to angle Q. Okay. Then segment BC is congruent to segment QR. Angle C is congruent to angle R. Here in the bracket, name of the angle in 3 letters is written. Angles are same, C and R, B and Q. Okay. So, angle, side, angle. These two triangles are congruent by which test? Angle, side, angle test of congruence of triangles. So what is this test? For a given correspondence between the vertices of two triangles, if two angles of one triangle and the included side of this triangle is congruent to corresponding two angles and the included side of the other triangle, then these two triangles are congruent, and the test used is what? Angle side angle test. So here it is the angle test for congruence of the triangles. So first one is the introductory part. You should know it so to understand the concept of congruence of triangle and the tests of congruence. So here it is the first one. So next 3 more tests are there. We will continue with those in the next video.